Peekskill Human Relations Commission celebrates Black History Month. This month we are honoring 4 local African American artists. Our first artist is Bria Waterman, also known as Bria the Artist. She is a painter, sketch artist, singer, songwriter, and poet, currently living and working in Westchester County, New York. Her work focuses on the evolution, consciousness, and nature of the Black culture as it relates to her own. Bria has been displaying her talents for most of her life. She was born in the Bronx, New York, and later moved to Westchester. Her artistic talents were realized at the age of 2 by her parents and 2 older siblings. Bria was able to draw what she saw and instinctively create masterpieces. Her grade school doodling evolved into her 4-year visual arts major at the first historically Black college, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. After leaving Lincoln to focus on entrepreneurship in the world of art, Bria the Artist earned her Certificate of Merit in 2016. Continuing to build her brand and showcasing her talents around New York, the artist has been featured in multiple exhibitions, including her first solo exhibition in 2018 and the Paul Robeson Gallery in Peekskill. The passionate artist believes you can't teach someone what's already in her heart. Taking away a lesson she holds extremely valuable. Be yourself in all that you do. I'm sitting here this afternoon with Bria, the artist. Hi Bria, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Bria is our 4th person who we are honoring for Black History Month. She's a local artist here in downtown Peekskill.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, Bria.
So I am a painter. I'm also a singer, songwriter, poet, so I'm all in the arts. This exhibit that we're in right now is going to be up for the entire month of February. Opening reception is actually tomorrow, February 8th at 7 p.m. I've had some of my artwork up throughout Peekskill over the past couple of years, including Open Studios in the summer. That was one of the stops on the tour. I was also featured in the Paul Robeson Gallery. So, yeah, just making my way around.
And so how long have you been painting?
I've been painting actually since I was in college. Before that, I was actually just doing charcoal sketches. So fun fact, I used to hate painting. Like, I actually hated it. It was just it was tedious. I had to get the colors right and everything, but I had a friend, actually, his name is Jabari Jefferson. I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name. He's also a wonderful painter. He actually got me out of my shell, got me out of my comfort zone to start painting and using colors in my works. So here we are.
And I see you do a lot with bright colors.
Yes, I do. I love vibrant things. It just makes me so happy. I feel like every time I have flashbacks of my childhood, I just feel like it was just so colorful. So I like to kind of portray that in my artwork to make people feel the same way.
So was art your major when you were you went to Lincoln University, correct?
Yes, I did. First HBCU. I went to Lincoln University. I went to Lincoln University for visual arts.
Yes.
I actually found myself doing a lot more art after school than I was actually in school. So,
okay. And you're a singer as well?
I am a singer. I have shows. I do shows around Manhattan. Peekskill is where I got my start. My mother, Valerie, not Val. I used to sing backup for her around Peekskill, the Bean Runner, Hudson Room, 12 Grapes. Yeah, so now I'm kind of branching off on my own.
And you also sing in church, Mount Olivet Baptist Church.
Yes, I do. That is my church home. I was on the choir since, now I can't even remember a year. It's been a while. I didn't start actually doing solos and putting my voice out there until a high school friend of mine kind of pushed me and told the choir director, oh, she can sing too. I was like, why are you doing that? But I was happy that she did because it broke me out of my shell, and since then I've been doing shows here and there. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And you've done shows in New York City as well?
Yes, I have. And also I have an EP coming out in June. It's called Moon Swings.
Uh-huh.
It'll be my first EP actually, since I released my first single back in 2017 called Trees.
Mm-hmm.
And once I release this EP, it'll be available on all music platforms so that people can see that versatility and not just art.
For those of us that don't know what EP stands for.
Extended play. Fun fact.
Extended play.
Yeah, so it's actually like a short album. Instead of like 12, 15 songs, it's more like 4 to 8 songs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you write poetry as well.
I do. I started poetry when I started writing, basically. I'm also working on a poetry book called Moons. Mm-hmm. I have not been telling a lot of people about that only because, you know, it's one of my more personal projects, I would say. I sometimes like to correlate some of my poems into my artworks. Like if you see the piece down there, it's called Baba Glutton with the yarn hanging down.
Yes, yes.
I actually have a poem attached to that piece, which I will be reciting tomorrow at the opening reception.
Oh, wonderful. So you're working on a book.
Yes, I am.
Poetry.
Yes.
Okay.
I was inspired by my mother, who is a published author. A lot of people don't know that. She had a book called Does Race Define a Relationship?
Mm-hmm.
I was inspired by her to, you know, actually put something out there for people to see. So.
It sounds like your mother is a great supporter of yours.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. My mother, my father, my grandmother, my siblings, I'm so blessed to have my family be a supporter of my artistry. Mm-hmm. This is what I do full time. A lot of people, unfortunately, aren't rewarded that luxury of having, you know, people around them that support their dreams. So.
And that's your village. It takes a village. That's your village.
Absolutely.
I notice most of your artwork is mostly, I would say, very African American artwork.
Yes. So that is literally an extension of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am very, very proud to be Black. Mm-hmm. I feel like I want to just portray that in everything I do. I feel like I owe it to my ancestors. It's like my duty. I didn't want to label it as Afrocentric art. Okay. I want people to just take it as they see it.
Yeah.
But I also want people to feel that sense of pride in who I am. It's literally, it's my childhood. It is from birth to now to future, and it's my spirit. So.
You know, I noticed in your artwork here, and a few of your pieces, of course you have the face with the 2 eyes, the nose, the mouth, but then you have an eye in the center of the forehead. You want to explain?
Sure. So, as you can see in this piece here, I have the 3rd eye, which is representative of your 6th sense or your inner knowledge. Mm-hmm. So this is something that is brought on by your pineal gland, which is in the forefront of your brain. Okay. I'm not a biologist, so don't quote me on that. So it's basically a representation of seeing without actually seeing with your physical eyes. Mm-hmm. So this is supposed to help people wake up or stay woke, as you millennials say.
Yeah, stay woke.
Stay woke. So so I like to put it in a lot of my pieces because I just really want people to wake up and smell the coffee, understand that, you know, everything is not exactly as you see it. So everybody has this 3rd eye. Everybody has that inner knowledge. You just got to tap into it. Mm-hmm. So.
And also, a lot of your work here is for sale.
It is. So I will have a price list at the opening reception. People will be able to view, have price cards and everything here, information cards. And I will also have business cards if anybody wants to contact me if they're interested in purchasing a piece as well.
And how long is your art show going to run?
So this is running through the entire month of February. The opening reception will be for a couple of hours tomorrow, where you can speak to me if you have any questions about the pieces or anything like that, or just want to talk.
And you're doing a sip and paint as well.
I am. So I will be doing it monthly in Peekskill. My first class of 2019 is going to be on Sunday, February 10th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's going to be here at 925 South Street, Studio 4. and it is 21 plus, 21 and older.
Yes.
So it is a sipping paint, so there will be wine, so just remember that. It's really fun. I'll be instructing every step of the way, so if you feel like you can't draw, don't worry, it's for beginners, so.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
It's been a pleasure.
And I'm really enjoying your Afrocentric artwork. It's just beautiful. It's colorful. And I would please come down to 925 Studio 4.
Yes.
To see Bria the artist and her wonderful artwork.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bria.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wilfredo Morel. Wilfredo Morel is the founder and executive director of Arts 10566. This community-based organization was formed in 2013 when two longtime friends put their energy and passion for the arts and applied it to address the lack of inclusion of low and middle income resident minority children in the arts. Arts 10566 is a result of the founder's own experiences with finding art and culture as a pathway out of poverty and towards a healthy, fulfilled life. Through a caring network of artists with community ties to Peekskill, this program began by serving 20 children in 2013 through the generosity of a small grant made by the founding director to the Garrison Arts Center. Within 5 years, the program has grown to provide free arts education to over 160 children ages 6 through 18 years of age in safe and accessible spaces every day. The program is proud to have expanded its partnerships to include the Peekskill City School District, City of Peekskill Youth Bureau, Peekskill Housing Authority at the Kali Youth Center, the Salvation Army, Hudson River Healthcare, Arts Westchester, Mount Olivet Baptist Church, Park Street Amy Zion Church, Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, Daisy Joplin Foundation, Peekskill Rotary, DeVito Family Foundation, and many others. In addition to his role with Arts 10566, Wilfredo is a sculptor, serves as the director of the Hispanic Health at Hudson River Healthcare, serves on the board of directors of the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce, as well as serves on the City of Peekskill Artist Certification Board. Is a former president and founding member of the Westchester Pride Lions Club. He is a member of Park Street Amy Zion Church and is a devoted husband to his wife, Marissa, and loving father to his children, Christian and Ella. Wilfredo also belongs to the City of Peekskill Juneteenth Heritage Planning Board. He's an active member of Governor Andrew Cuomo's Innovates Task Force Committee, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in Westchester County, Region ACSO Coalition, co-chair of the New York State Department of Health Non-English Speaking Migrant Farm Workers and New Immigrant Advisory Group. Good afternoon. I am here with Wilfredo Morel, Peekskill local artist, and he is one of our honorees for Black History Month.
Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
And thank you for those individuals that were able to select me for this special month, and so it's an honor for me.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to Peekskill? What brought you here?
Well, that is the hardest question to ask to an artist, basically, in reference to tell us about yourself, which is something that I'm very often not good with that, because I think that what I do, it is more generated by the beauty of our community in Peekskill and the energy that God's given me, and to Him is the glory. You know, I give Him the glory, basically. I am in Peekskill. I've been in Peekskill for now 28 years. I came here really through our community health center, which at that time was called Peekskill Area Health Center. And there were many other names before that. Came here basically to work in the area of public health, and especially working with individual with HIV and AIDS, and I'm talking about 1991, 92. In doing that, the opportunity was not so much to serve our population, our community, but also was an opportunity for me to learn from our community and to really see the potential of our community in which at that time it was not so much the art, but it was about the getting to know the community. That then kind of started my life here in Peekskill.
And then from that, you morphed into the art?
From there, it came up that as I was providing the services, the work that I was doing, I was commuting basically from the Bronx.
Okay.
I was in Riverdale, living there, and one of the things that I learned is that in order for you to make it different in one community, whether to the job or the mission that you do, it is always important to live within that population.
Yes.
It is important to integrate, to get yourself in there. Otherwise, you had nothing to say. There is no way. And that was the biggest deal that brought me to Peekskill. So along with that, there was, I remember that was during the time that Francis Gibbs was the mayor.
Yes, yes.
Who then from there they started with the information about bringing the artist as a way to stimulate the city. And while that was happening, you know, again, my dual degree is a sociologist, but also an artist. I went to Lehman College in the Bronx. That's where my education is from. So that was, I remember the sign said call for artists. And the call for artist meeting was at the field library.
Yes.
I remember going there. It was 1993. Ralph DeBart, who was, I guess, planning, or he was the catalyst, basically.
Yes, he was.
Using that,
yes.
right?
I remember him.
He brought like over 150 artists, and I was one of them.
Let's talk about 10566 and what you're doing here with the young people in Peekskill today.
Yes, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. After all that, you know, again, the opportunity basically for my work to be collected and all that, then really one of my biggest deal, and that goes to when I worked at the health center, when I started working and the population, because we lost a lot of people to HIV/AIDS, and I don't want to ignore that. But one other thing that I do remember was my promise to them that as long as I'm in this community, their children and grandchildren will have the opportunity for access to whatever they want, whatever they need. And I had to tell you truly that the population that was more affected was our community of color, our low income, our community in public housing. They were truly affected. And my thing was that I want to do something that will make a difference. Art 10566 purposely was really to create an art program. Okay, not so much to use the art as a way just to teach them or to make them another artist, but to create a forum from where we can communicate, where the teaching of anything can come. And today serving 200 kids.
Wow.
200. And the 200, so our registration last year in September was 488 applications. So what we did was that we divided the program into two sessions, basically September through February, February to June. So like that we can fit 200 and then 200. We still have a waiting list.
Wow.
The program is free. It's completely free to the parents. We have 7 disciplines, right? That goes from spoken words, chorus, 3-dimensional arts, 2-dimensional, theater tech, stage design and fabrication. And we just added, basically in collaboration with Daisy Chaplin, which I say thank you so much, and Susan, my guy Susan, who is the teacher in string, we added the violin, a string class. So those are classes that are in different locations because, you know, Arts 10566 has become kind of a revolving art class, if you will. And providing, you know, for our community and especially our youth. The program followed the school schedule, so we start in September and we end in June. But in September, we basically start getting the children to get to know the teachers, get to know the medium. In January, March, then we start thinking about what is going to be the outcome of what they have been learning. So for the past 4 years, this is our 6th year, for the past 5 years, we've been hosting a professional and original play performance. 4 years out of that was at the Paramount Theater, and the last year it was at the Peekskill Middle School.
Wonderful.
Remarkable.
Wonderful.
And this year, I think this year what we're doing is vignettes. So that means that we're going to be in different places where the dancers will do a performance for the dance. I know that the visual art kids are going to be doing a puppeteer show and all that. So again, those are some of the highlights of what the program is doing.
Talk about giving back to your community.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
Yeah, thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for giving back to Peekskill, and you're definitely a man of your word. You promised this is what you would do, and this is what you've done, and it makes Peekskill such a better community. And the youth are the future of the city of Peekskill, and you have a hand in that.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
But I thank my community for allowing me to do that. I really thank them back, because that's what life is all about, giving us the opportunity to do what we can do.
It's been a pleasure, Alfredo.
Same here. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Thank
Bless.
you.
Ocean Morissette. Ocean Morissette is a self-taught freelance photographer with nearly 20 years of experience specializing in photojournalism and documentary photography. A self-described humanitarian with a camera, Ocean also explores fine art photography and engages with a wide range of subjects in life, though his passion remains in telling stories with images. Ocean's choice of subject matter reveals his humanitarianism, as he has a keen eye for the unnoticed and underappreciated aspects of life, and presents them in a way that the viewer takes hold of the image for their own self-reflection. Ocean is a veteran of the United States Air Force, having served in Operation Desert Storm 1990 through 1991 as a medic. He has continued this career path in the civilian world, taking care of people with HIV/AIDS at various medical institutions throughout New York City. Ocean's serious interest in photography began in 2001 when he was given a 35mm camera as a gift. He quickly fell in love with the medium and the magic of making prints in his tiny dark room built in a spare bathroom. Ocean's natural inclination was to share his love of photography with others, and so in the same year, Ocean founded the Fort Greene Photography Organization. With flyers placed around the Fort Greene neighborhood of Brooklyn, he put out a call for people to join a serious amateur photography club. The notices drew professional and amateur photographers of varying genres of photography, and as a collective, Fort Greene Photography Club began sharing work at meetings and planning exhibitions across the city. While this organization is no longer operating as a group, they are proud of the experience of showcasing local photographers' work in over 14 exhibitions in the 10-year period of the club's existence, and solidifying members' passion and commitment to photography. Ocean travels to Havana, Cuba to teach a 2-week program and arts workshop to Cuban youth under a grant secured by Cuban-American photographer Nestor Hernandez. In 2004, he traveled to Haiti with the humanitarian organization Heritage Foundation to deliver food aid and medical supplies to survivors of Hurricane John. While there, he photographs the resilience of the Haitian people, with special emphasis placed on the food distribution efforts. The photo essay is called The Aftermath of Hurricane John and has been exhibited at musician Wycliffe Jean's launch of his foundation in Yale, Haiti. Good afternoon. I'm here with Ocean Morissette, Peekskill's local famous photographer. Hi, Ocean. How are you today?
Hey, Renee. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We're honoring Ocean. This is part of our series of Black History Month. our local artist in Peekskill here. And so, Ocean, how I found out about you was a few years ago, Facebook. I would go on Facebook and I would see these wonderful photographs. And my friends on Facebook were your friends as well. And I said, I'm going to send this guy a friend request. And I believe I met you on Facebook before I met you maybe a year and a half
That's
ago
correct.
at Open Studios in downtown Peekskill.
That's correct, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to this lovely city of ours?
Well, my partner Khalil and I, we just decided we needed more space and thought that the rent we were paying in Harlem was way too much. And so we just decided to kind of look around and look into home ownership, and so here we are. We came to Peekskill and looked at some places and and found this place that we're in now.
I could tell your love of Peekskill, and how I could tell your love of Peekskill, the pictures that you post of the riverfront green. You take some gorgeous pictures of Peekskill, the real essence of Peekskill. And I really appreciate those pictures.
Yeah, well, thanks for saying that. I enjoy Peekskill. Peekskill has been great to me in the 5 years that I've been here. I've gotten much support from the community, and yeah, it just kind of started by coming around and documenting this new city, my new environment, the people, the places in it, and I really developed a love for it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So when did you start photography?
I started photography in 2001. Basically, someone just gave me a camera, fully manual Canon AE1 camera, and I just started taking pictures. I had no aspiration of being a photographer, I didn't even think I could take a picture. I mean, certainly we've all had cameras in our families, taking pictures, family portraits and things like that, but I just developed this strong love for it. For the medium, and I built a dark room in my tiny bathroom and started developing my own prints, and and so it started in 2001.
As I looked around your studio, I see gorgeous photographs of Harlem, the Caribbean, and you've obviously done some extensive traveling and captured some wonderful moments.
Yes, extensive, maybe not so much, but I would certainly love to do more. But anywhere I go, I'm always photographing, and I just enjoy it. It just feeds my soul, really.
And you're also a veteran. You
Yes.
served in the armed forces here in the United States and served in Desert Storm.
Yeah, that's a little known fact about me. That I am, in fact, a U.S. Air Force veteran. I served in Desert Storm. I was a medic. And that was sort of another life, if you will. But it was an amazing experience, and certainly predating my photography, my life as a photographer. But it was something that I feel like informed, those experiences informed who I am today, informed my work, rather.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you. Sure.
And I also know that you've worked with HIV and AIDS patients as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so when I left the Air Force and entered civilian life, I took a job as a medic. At the time, it was the largest HIV private practice, and where we did we treated HIV patients. And it was at the time where AZT monotherapy was the only medication available, and there were lots of experimental treatments, and we did a lot of IV therapy with the patients that would come in for treatment and things like that. And that was an amazing experience, and really touching and heartwarming and soulful. And again, those experiences I feel like sort of helped shape me to the person that I am today. Yeah, it put me in touch with humanity in a very real and intimate way.
Well, can you tell me who was an inspiration for you as far as someone who's in photography? Was it a Gordon Parks?
Well, yes, Gordon Parks is my hero. Obviously, when I first got into photography, part of my learning the medium, because I am self-taught, I didn't take any classes. Part of my learning the medium was learning about different photographers who were doing the work before me. And I quickly gravitated to Gordon Parks's work, his ability to see people, to get in touch with humanity, the human spirit, the human condition, just spoke to me in a very real way. So I like to think that he's my biggest inspiration. There are others. Roy De Carava is also another black photographer. But there are so many photographers. I mean, Annie Leibovitz.
Yes.
She does amazing portraits, and you know, and just I study a lot of different photographers, so I feel like a lot of different styles and sort of converge to sort of, you know, identify the work that I'm doing today.
Have you seen it evolve from when you first started with technology, taking pictures?
Yeah, for sure, because I started out with film photography, and then I quickly went into digital when digital cameras, digital SLR cameras became available. And now, actually, it sort of evolved even further, because now a lot of my work, a lot of my street work is taken with the iPhone.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, and people are often surprised when I say that, because they're like, the iPhone, wow, you take these great pictures, and you know, the iPhone has a powerful camera. You just have to know how to use it. And whether I'm shooting with the iPhone, with the SLR, or whatever camera I'm using, my intentions and I'm very serious about what I do, about getting the messages across through my work.
I notice your messages. You know, when I see an African American man with his children on the streets of Harlem, those black and white stills, you know, they create an image that, you know, this man is taking charge of his family, his love for his children, he's walking them to school, you know, and sometimes the image with the African American man is not so positive. You show him in such a positive light. Very positive images, and those are the ones that really move me. When I see those pictures posted, those pictures really move me.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoy it. The work is from a series I call Dad Duty. And while a father taking a child to school or at the playground is not so much a duty, it's really a series that I started to debunk the stereotype or the myth of the absent black father.
Yes.
Because the media, these are images that the media will not show you. They're going to give you a different spin on it. They're going to say these black men are in jail or on drugs or what have you. But it's really to shed light on and change the perception of that people have of black men. And it's a stereotype, because every day when I'm out in the streets, I see black men with their children.
Yes.
And so I go out of my way to document it and to share it, and to sort of highlight the positive and the dignified portrayals of black men.
Well, I want to thank you, Ocean. It's been a pleasure. As I said, thank you for your service to this country and what you do with HIV and AIDS patients, and just, like I said, the positive image of the black man and all that you do, and even showing Peekskill in such a beautiful light with your gorgeous photos of the Peekskill Riverfront Green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Peekskill. It's great, and even beyond the riverfront, the people are often great. Are also great, rather.
Yeah.
And you know, I photograph the events in town, the parades, what have you, and it's still with that spirit of capturing humanity and capturing the best of people.
Well, thank you again.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Toni Quest. Toni Quest refers to herself as an entrepreneurial artist and a law of attraction life coach. She specializes in coaching artists about the business of their art. She seeks to integrate her many gifts, talents, and unique experiences as she's been blessed with. In her recently published memoir, Actualize a Life in Progress, Toni candidly tells the stories within the story of her life. Actualize is based on the instructional plan she wrote in graduate school. Toni became an artist after surviving a traumatic auto collision. While recovering at home in much physical and emotional pain, she began painting faces, giving birth to her Screaming Woman series. Her award-winning piece, U.S. in Us, is featured on the cover of the anthology View from the Middle of the Road, Volume 2, U.S. is in Us, PRA Publishing. A selection of her poetry is featured in the anthology as well. Toni began designing jewelry in 2009. She launched the Energy Stoners jewelry designs and salons in 2015. Salon attendees gather in the spirit of camaraderie and enjoy food, wine tasting, and music while engaging in jewelry design instruction, which features her expert instruction featuring genuine energy stones, quartz, and energetic design. In her book, Actualize, and through her paintings, Toni bears her soul as well as her affinity to the collective consciousness of humankind. Her intent is to provoke emotion and thought, thus inspiring constructive communication. Toni has moderated panel discussions and delivered speeches on a number of topics, including art, environment, and spirituality. Her speaking venues have ranged from internet radio to Columbia University. Her love of art led her being chosen to be a juror at the Mondial Art Academia located in Montpellier, France. As a permanent juror, Toni views the art for the entrance of their annual international art competition. Toni has exhibited in and curated for galleries in New York City and Westchester County. Noteworthy is Art and Jazz, which featured the art of American combat veterans. Her latest instructional design explores how the artist, as sole proprietor, can become a successful entrepreneur. The course gives a practical overview of various avenues in which artists can generate streams of revenue. Attitudes about money and prosperity are discussed as they pertain to the law of attraction. Toni can be seen interviewing interesting people on her cable TV show, Talk with TQ, which also appears on YouTube. Good afternoon. I'm sitting here with Toni Quest, local Peekskill artist. We're honoring Toni this month for Black History Month. And welcome, Toni.
Thank you for having me, Renee. This is such an honor and a pleasure.
Oh, good. Thank you. Listen, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get to Peekskill?
I feel, it's funny, I feel as if I migrated northwest through two marriages. Because I'm originally from the Sound Shore. And in 2001, my husband and I moved to Peekskill from Ossiningham. And in the Art District, I've been here since 2011.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
So you find that the cityscape of Peekskill and the riverfront green, it's a nice mosaic, a nice art mosaic for you to really hone your skills. And
well, it's inspiring, and I feel that I guess it's just by happenstance, I've watched it emerge and become something more than it was even from 2011.
Okay.
You know, I watched like the Birdsall House make that vacant lot into a beer garden. I saw the Iron Vine emerge. I've seen a lot of things, you know, on the block. You know, it seems that it used to be all about Division Street, which is behind us.
Yeah.
You know, if we could drill a hole through the wall.
Right.
And it was all about Division Street. And I remember looking out the window with my now landlord and saying, you know, I get a feeling that the city's going to turn the corner and it's going to be like this whole thing between Division Street and Main Street, like a T, you know. And I just felt, well, maybe I'll embrace that. Yeah. And I was right.
Tell us about some of the art that you do, because I know you make jewelry as well.
Yeah, the jewelry design discovered me. And I consider myself, before this, I considered myself like a humble kind of B grade as opposed to A grade painter. You know, I have once in a while I come up with a masterpiece, you know, which I can say that I have come up with a few, but I can't, because I struggle being self-taught. That's why I say be great. It takes me a while to get it, and then when I get it, I got it. But what happened, I guess around 2010, 2011, it's as if the jewelry design discovered me.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, I write a lot. I read an article on LinkedIn about, you know, letting your vocation discover you. So I feel that the jewelry discovered me as opposed to me discovering the jewelry, and it just expanded into a whole thing beyond just making it. I like to consider myself a jewelry designer.
Okay.
You know, I use energy stones, and I try to make my jewelry as energetic as possible. I like to say it that way. I have a salon that I conduct. It's sort of a private event only because of having to order materials to teach this class, which is basically a psalm where you come and you have a few, we do wine tasting, have something really delicious to taste and eat and drink, and then I conduct a class and I design a teachable piece of jewelry. You know, being an educator as well, I just say gotta make it teachable and consider the audience, the class that I'm teaching, which are usually adults.
And how often do you hold these classes?
Oh, I'd say about twice a month, something like that,
Yeah.
weather permitting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell me about your artwork. Tell me about your paintings.
Well, yeah, I paint, it's funny, I get commissions that people want me to do their painting, and I'll be honest, I'm very humble about it because I don't consider myself the best, because I really am surrounded in this area by, extraordinary artists. But I guess I have a style that people want. It's ironic that for some reason I do better with celebrity portraits than I do with, like I could paint you, you know, I could do that because you've got one of those faces you want to paint. You know, it's expressive, it's beautiful, it's very chiseled, you know. But I don't consider myself the best at that, but I have a style that's not like anyone else's. And it lends itself to painting celebrities. I don't know why. I've done Joan Rivers, Michael Jackson, and sort of the abstract.
Yeah.
My dog is the only animal I really have ever painted.
Yeah.
You know, and people love that, and I sell prints of my dog. You know?
And you're part of the Peekskill Arts Alliance here?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a great organization. What I love about them is they have an annual event in which it seems like the whole world comes to that.
Yeah.
And since I've been in this particular space, I'll say I look forward to that day, the first weekend in June, and I always do very well with sales, but mostly with branding, with my branding, considering all the different things I do, and I look forward to it. It's like Christmas.
I've come to Open Studios and I came up here
Yes.
a couple of years ago and I did buy a ring from you.
You
So,
did.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember how I met you.
On the street.
Yes, on the street, but also I was down at the Kylie Center.
Right,
Yes. And I was
Right.
director of the after-school program, and we
Right.
were trying to put together an art program for the children.
children.
For the children.
Yes, and I was
Yes.
actually teaching there for a little bit
Yes,
with the
yes.
mural. A lot of people don't know that I did that.
Yeah.
You know, you get criticized somewhat because I tend to stay under the radar. I'm not looking for, I'm not looking for certain recognition all the time. I'm just doing it. And yeah, I was there, before the mayor was mayor.
Yeah,
Yeah, with Andre Rainey, yeah.
And working with children, isn't it
And working with-
inspiring?
It is inspiring, and those kids are just so hungry. At least when I was doing it,
Yeah.
they were so hungry for it. And I tried to give them a little bit of structure in that mural, so they could make something that they could look at later. I don't know what it looks like now,
Yeah, yeah.
but they were just cute. It's like cuteness overload, and you could see that they're hungry for it because they all want to do that. And interestingly, at some point when I was working there, there was a similar kind of program going on at the Presbyterian Church where they were doing a wall. No one knows about that wall. It's still there, where all these kids came, and there was another artist, Mark Yarns, who actually did a schematic of Genesis. He did a schematic with colors and numbers and stuff, and all these big cans of paint. And he had 75 children from the Kylie Center. A lot of them were from there.
Yes.
And he'd say, okay, you're going to do this section, and you paint this color, and then then they'd have some adults to kind of help a little bit. But that was a very nice time. I think that was in 2011.
Okay, I met you in 2013, I think it was.
Yeah. That's right.
It's a great program.
And we had a very long conversation standing on the sidewalk.
Yes.
It must have been like a half an hour or something. We were still talking. Yeah, and I said, I know I'm going to see her doing something. I just know it. I just have this feeling. Yeah. So you should come to one of the salons sometime.
I will. You send me an invitation.
I will,
I
absolutely.
look forward to it.
Yeah.
In going over your bio, you had a very bad accident.
Yes.
And you found art.
I'm laughing.
To help you through.
Yes, I did. Through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I was had a bad accident in the 90s, and it just changed my whole life. Yeah. That was the upside of it. But I don't remember the accident exactly, but I always get a little like when I talk about it.
Yeah.
But it was a head-on collision. It just was so scary for so long, and it had that little post-traumatic stress.
Yes.
It was hard to deal with.
Yes.
And since then, what I've done is I decided to teach, self-actualizing portraiture to other people. And then when my husband died, I decided to get my degree in education, specifically adult education, which is adult learning theory. And I wrote my thesis specifically for veterans with PTSD because I saw a correlation between the PTSD from soldiers in my family and soldiers, believe it or not, in my husband's family. My husband was not a soldier, but he had a grandfather that was a soldier. And in studying adult learning theory, I saw a definite relationship between how he reacted to certain things that, overreacted to certain things. And I could see that it had something to do with learned behavior.
Well, you do beautiful work.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful work.
I do my best.
And
Thank
it's always
you.
a pleasure to run into you.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure sitting here talking with you and you sharing your life experiences.
And thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, you're welcome.
I so
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. I really
yes,
do.
Yes.
Yeah.